and Namaste. Today we're focusing on more backbending actions. So all the backbends which are opening up our heart, which are opening the front tissues of our body. They're naturally correcting the posture. So if you do have the tendency to slouch down or your shoulders dropping downward, having this action, we are more in an inverted posture body-wise. And that also has a big effect on our mood. Yeah. So if I lift my shoulders up and I correct my spine, I already have this more optimistic postures. I'm upright, I'm facing everything. Yes, you see my voice is also different. And this is, as soon as we change our posture, body-wise, our mood changes. Yeah, it has an effect on our emotion, it has an effect on the things we say, on the things we act. Yeah? Everything has an effect. It doesn't matter if you believe in that science or not, but it's a big effect on this. So do your best not to let loose and hang in the posture. So always lifting up from here. It needs a little bit engagement from our core. Yeah, that stabilizes everything, stabilizes the whole rest. It gives you a good container from here. If your core is weak, then you really need to work on the strength of the core, holding a plank longer and developing like those deep core muscles. Also the back, yeah? The core is not just the abs, the core is also the back, to have this uplift feeling. And then the shoulders, they lift up and they slightly roll backward. If I do sit, I rather have my palms upward because that gives me that naturally opened for my shoulder. So, a long beginning to tell you what's going to happen. We start in this kneeling position. If you can't kneel, then you can also sit in a cross-legged position. And for this class, you want to have one yoga belt. Could be, I'm using the strap of my yoga mat today. You could have a proper yoga mat or any other belt, tissue or scarf or whatever you have. Okay, let's get started. Sitting upright, core slightly engaged, navel draws to the spine. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck, and close the eyes for the beginning. Taking a few deeper breaths to arrive in this posture. Breathing in Ujjayi breath, so creating the sound, the soothing sound, the sound of the ocean. It's creating this in your throat. It's like restricting the passage in our throat area. Relaxing the face, relaxing the jaw. And slowly start to open your eyes again. We start in Balasana in child's pose for this practice.
So we're on our knees, we sit back on our heels and we reach our arms forward, giving them a really good stretch here. The forehead can rest on the floor. And see if you can find your Ujjayi breath in child's pose. And slowly roll yourself all the way up to all fours. Let's create a little wave here. We're going through a baby vinyasa to warm up properly. I spread my fingers wide, I ground them down in the floor, and I shift all my weight forward until I can't go any further anymore. And then I slowly release down. Elbows stay very close. Inhale, a baby cobra, just lifting the chest up. And then exhale, press through your hands, help with your knees to shift back, rounding the back, come back to child's pose. And we're going to repeat this a few times. We inhale when we round the back like an angry cat, and then shift all the way forward, slowly, slowly releasing down to the ground. Inhale, a baby cobra. Exhale, core is engaged, we shift back, sit back onto your heels. Inhale, you roll up. And exhale, slowly release down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, shift back to your child's pose. Let's do one more repetition of this. Good. We come back to all fours. Let's go into a classical cat-cow, seeing also what our spine feels like today. We inhale to open up. We exhale, rounding the back. We inhale, open. And exhale, round the back. Inhale, open up. Exhale, round the back. One more time. Inhale to open. And exhale, round back. Good. We come onto our belly. So just get comfortable on the floor. Sounds like we're doing nothing, but actually that is a lot of work right now. So first we go into a few baby cobras, a few creative baby cobras. Have your hands next to the shoulders. And then every time you inhale, you lift the heart up. And when you exhale, you release down. And it's a creative cobra, so the next time you inhale and you look over your left shoulder, add a slight twist here. And release down. Now over the right side. Inhale, look to the back. And exhale, release. Back into center. Inhale, look straight forward. And exhale down. Inhale over the left side. And down. We go over the right side. And back down. One more time. Through the center. Straight forward, cobra. Back down. Inhale to the left. Exhale down. Last one to the right. And release down. Good. Make a pillow with your hands so that your forehead can rest. Shake out the hips. Completely soft and loose. Good. Let's reach our arms forward, the palms facing each other. You look straight down to your mat, so don't pull your head into your neck. It's not really nice for the cervical spine. We look down to the ground, and then we're going to lift our right arm up and the left leg. So the other way, bringing it down, the left arm and right leg. Really engaging your core, alternating right and left leg, and then left arm, right leg. Right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. And here it's not so much about the height, it's more about the length. Yeah, really stretching it out, engaging the whole core muscle. Let's go ahead, do both to the same time. Reach your arms up and lift your legs up and hold. Really good Ujjayi breath can help us here to keep on going. Deep breath in and out. And release down back into your crocodile posture. So for crocodile, turn your feet out to the side. Forehead is resting on the floor. Yeah, the crocodile is just saving the energy the whole day. Most of the time they're just chilling. And then once they meet, once they go for hunting, they go into action and they're fully charged with energy. Slowly lift yourself back up. Now the palms are next facing down. Yeah, palms facing down, arms by the side of the body. We lift the chest, we lift our arms and we lift the legs up to Shavasana, locust pose. So here we are in our really first back bend by the side of those mini cobras. We lift the heart up. We see if we can bring those shoulder blades closer together. It's a bit like flying on the ground. And release down back into crocodile, Makrasana. Relax. Bring the hands next to the shoulder. And imagine you pointing your leg like a scorpion tail, yeah? Scorpion tail. So we bend the right knee and then you cross over, you open up and you tap the outside edge of the left side of the mat. You bring it back to center, right leg straight, bend the left and tap over to the other side. Back to center and tap over to the left side. To center and then open up to the other side. So you can open up the front of the body and slight openings happening for your hip already. You're going to go back, 10. One more time to the right. One more time to the left. Back to center. Let's push through our hands. Come back to all four position. Let's tuck our toes under. We go to downward facing dog. Let's send the hips up high. If needed, walk it out. Bend one knee at a time. Oh, we're gonna give this back a huge stretch. That feels so nice. Good. Walk the feet all the way forward to the beginning of the mat. And then inhale, come up halfway, look straight forward. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bring the arms over the side. Reach up tall, look up to your hands. Hands in front of the heart. Let's start with Surya Namaskar, the sun salutation. Feet are slightly apart, slight bend also in your knees. We take an inhale to reach the arms up and over, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Right leg steps back. Bring the knee down. We open up those arms. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Bring the hands down to the ground, frame the left foot. Step into your plank pose. Knees, chin and chest. Keep the butt up high. And then exhale, release down. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Exhale, come over the knees, tuck toes, send up the hips, downward facing. Inhale, right up. Right foot comes forward in between. Left knee comes down. We open up. Bring the hands down to the ground. Step to the front. Forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up. Lifting up, reach up, upward salute. Hands back in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up and over. Exhale to your forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Adho Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Left leg comes back, lower down onto the knee. Anjaneyasana, open up the arms. Bring the hands down to the ground, frame the right foot. Step into your plank pose. Plakanasana. Knees, chin and chest, Ashtangasana. All the way down, release down, Balasana, baby cobra. Over the knees, tuck your toes, find your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left leg comes up. Step your left foot forward in between. Find Anjaneyasana again. Open up the arms. Bringing the hands down. Frame the left. Step to the front. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up and over. Hands in front of the heart. Good. Let's keep on going. We're going to bring some more asanas into that flow. We reach the arms up. Maybe this time you can open up your heart more. The core stays strong. And you reach back. Urdhva Hastasana. Look to your hands. Open up here. Core stays strong. We're still breathing. Slowly back into your forward fold. Be careful, keep your knees bent in this one. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg steps back. You turn the right foot slightly out, so 45 degrees. We set up for our warrior one. Virabhadrasana one. Left knee is bent, right leg is straight. Yeah, those back bends, they have an uplifting effect. I already feel this. I'm really more awake already just with those few back bends.
Interlace the hands behind the back. Draw the shoulders back, straighten the arms. Take an inhale, and with our exhale, we dive deep into humble warrior. Slowly, slowly going deep here. Deep breathing is still required. Let's release the hands, bring the hands down. Make some space with your left foot. Turn it slightly out. We bring our hip flexibility in here, setting up for lizard. So my left foot is on the outside edge of the mat, and I take an active lizard. I want to focus on more strength today. If you feel not so energetic today, just release the right knee down. Yes. If possible, keep it active. Keep on going, breathing. Good. Slowly preparing yourself for a three-legged downward dog. So I lift my left leg up into the air. I send the hips up high and I open up into my hip. Right heel is pressing down. And then bring it back into a classical downward facing dog. Come forward into plank pose. And then now your choice if you want to skip the knees down to the floor or going to chaturanga, stopping halfway, untuck the toes, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Open up the front channel of the body. Back into your downward facing dog. That feels good. Bring the feet together, look in between your hands, slight bend the knees, and then we inhale and we hop ourselves to the front. Halfway up, and exhale, get back to forward fold. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana, open up. Exhale, the hands together in front of the heart. Alright, let's get ready to do the other side. We inhale, open, Urdhva Hastasana. Take a big breath here. To your forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg comes back. We turn the left foot slightly out. Right knee is bent, and we reach up, finding our warrior one here. So my shoulders, they stay relaxed. Right knee is bent. I'm alert, I'm proud, I'm a warrior, I'm strong here. Getting ready for this humble warrior. Bring the arms to the back. Draw the shoulders back and down. Taking an inhale, and with your next exhale, you fold. So we're not leaning on the right leg. We go really deep. We try to bring our head and the chest closer down to the floor. Bring the hands down to the ground, getting into lizard pose. So make space for both hands. And like I did on the other side, I'll remain in this active variation. As you can see, I have a slight bend in my elbows, so I'm not relaying with hyperextension. I use my muscles. And I breathe. Such a challenging posture, this lizard. Yeah, we want to open our heart, we want to be so soft, but then we feel sometimes the resistance coming from our hips. It's very natural, very normal if that's you, if you get
a little bit angry and grumpy, maybe with me now, that's okay. We go into our three-legged dog, send the right leg up high, left heel is pushing down, right leg wants to travel up high. Back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, our classical downward facing. Ground the feet down to the floor. Come forward to plank pose. Lower down to Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Open up the heart. And back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's have a short child's pose. Bring the knees down. Catching your breath. I said short child's pose, but if you prefer a longer child's pose, stay longer in child's. So we will roll out, just give your wrist a little break and draw some circle. We still have something to do on our hands. So sometimes the wrists they get a bit tired. If you're new to have that consistent practice, then it takes some time to develop strength in the forearms. Shake it up. Okay. So not to get too overstraining our wrist, we practice not a down dog, we practice a dolphin. That's something you always can do if you feel wrists are getting too tired. Lower down onto the forearms, elbows down to the ground, hands are down to the floor. You set up like you're down dog, but then you have not your hands just on the ground, they get a bit of a rest. We have the hips up high. Travel your feet closer to your elbows now so that our shoulders are working, and what's also working is our core. It can be very, very challenging. Set them still a little bit closer to your elbows. Whenever you need a break, go ahead, take a short break. The head is never on the ground in this dolphin. Travel the feet further away at the shape of your down dog, and then come forward into a low plank. Inhale, up, send the hips up high like a dolphin. Lower back down into plank pose. Inhale, send the up. Exhale, back into plank. Inhale, lift up those hips. Exhale, back into your plank. Inhale, lift up. Last one, stay in a low plank. Strengthening. Breathing. Let's send the knees down. Child's pose, give your elbows, shoulders a rest. So just framing the whole body. Make yourself super tiny and small here. Good. Slowly roll yourself up. Something a bit more technical now. We come to use our yoga strap. And
it can be, like I said in the beginning, it can be everything. Any piece of tissue you have. And so we do sit. You can do it also standing, but I prefer to sit now. I hold the strap very tight in my arms, a bit wider than my shoulders, because you want to bring this up and overhead. So I keep it very tight. Strap is tight, arms are straight. I take an inhale, I reach up and overhead. So I'm stuck at the door here. Okay, so I try to sit upright. I inhale, bring it up, and exhale back in front of my chest. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale backward. So that is the full range of motion. We check how far we can reach. If you notice it gets very easy for you, you grab a little bit closer. If it's too hard, then make the distance a bit longer. Inhale up and overhead. Yeah, now it's more challenging. I bring it back to the front. I keep my arms straight. I keep the core tight. And I travel back. So that is a very amazing practice to work against a bad body posture. And with bad, well, I'm not meaning bad, I mean there's extreme posterior tilt. Slouching, yeah, that's posterior tilt. Anterior is also not very good. That's when you have the sway back and you push your butt outward. So keep it in a neutral shape using the whole stability of the body. Just a few more. Good, and then I keep it on the back. Hold it here where it's most challenging. It is really challenging for me right now. Use those Ujjayi breath. And back to the front. Ooh, release. Yeah, move those shoulders. But you don't need the belt anymore right now. Let's see how the down dog and vinyasa feels now as we worked a lot on the front of the body. Hands down to the floor, tuck toes back to downward facing dog. So let's see if we feel a difference, if we feel a result, a change here. Come forward to your plank and then lower down to chaturanga. And let's have an upward facing dog. Keep your knees and thighs off from the floor. Draw the shoulders down. Back into downward facing dog. Good, very nice. We bring the right leg up. Open it up into a three-legged dog. Yes, we have been here before already, so that feels comfortable for the body. It feels familiar. And you can stay here if you already have enough, but I would like to invite you to go with me into wild thing. So you step it over. Your right foot is planted, landing on the outside of the left mat side, and then you travel all the way up. Open up the heart channel. Kick your hips, keep your heart up. And then we bring the right foot to the left hand, all the way to the front. Big transition. Left foot is going down. We windmill ourselves all the way up and finding warrior two. What a surprise here. It's concluding a bit of a dance here. Warrior two, looking over the right fingertips. And then bring the right palm upwards. We have a reversed warrior. So we open up the front again. We stay very low here in our warrior legs. Come back into the second warrior. Straight the leg and windmill the hands down. Coming back to your downward facing dog. Let's have another vinyasa. Come forward to your plank pose. Lower down onto the knees or another chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. So I just turn myself around that you can still see what I'm doing. You can just stay where you are on your mat. We're still in down dog. Let's do the other side. Start with your left leg up into the air. And you know you can hang out here, you can wait. And then transition from here into your second warrior, if that's you today. Or you go with me into wild thing and then you step over. Left foot is landing now on the outside. And I open up here and have a wonderful back bend in the wild thing posture. Slowly transitioning into your second warrior. Left foot is landing next to the right hand and you spiral up here. There we are. Second warrior. Left knee is bent, right leg is straight. We're looking over our left fingertips here. Reversed warrior, left palm goes up. We open up. We can have our right leg hand supported here on the leg or all the way around. Coming back into the second warrior. Good. And let's windmill the hands down, framing the left foot. We go into half pigeon. Send the left foot to the side of the mat. Your left knee is bent, your right leg is straight now. So correct the movement of your hip if you feel you're shifting too much to the left side. Prop something underneath the left glute, the left outside edge of your hip here. And remaining your hips square. Take an inhale, and with your exhale, fold over, coming to the front here. You can also straighten your arms. You can stay on your elbows. Let's come up. We go into one posture which is such a pretty one. And the name is already so pretty. It's a mermaid posture. Yeah, it requires heart opening and requires hip opening to the same time. You might want to use your yoga belt again. I just have to grab it here to show you how to use the belt. Maybe you don't need the belt, so I show you two of these variations. We are bending our right knee now. My left knee is bent. And so I pull this leg closer to me. Yeah, if I have my hand here on my foot, I draw that towards me without leaning too much to the left side. So your hips, they remain square. That's the hard part. If this is too hard for you, you're catching the back foot with the strap and holding with the strap. Yeah. That is also a very good preparation, if I have more space here, to send this over my hip And then I prepare myself like for a king pigeon pose. Very hard posture, and you need to be so flexible. Long practice, maybe starting at a very early age. And then you can send your arms up, elbows go up, and you travel along the belt to reach closer to your foot. Yeah, so that is my maximum for today. But as you can see, I have a huge back bend here, and I try to reach to my toe. Oh, surprise, I touched the toe, but that is everything for today. I can't go any further here. So that is one variation. You can play with that one, or you do it completely without the belt. And it's not a king pigeon pose then it's the classical mermaid. So, oops, I catch my foot and I place it in the crease of my elbow here. Yeah, so I'm just holding my arm more or less. And then I reach the left arm up and see if I can attach those two hands. And I look straight forward and I have this pretty mermaid shape. Remembering yourselves to keep the core on. Opens up your hip and your heart. And then release. Slowly coming back. Release the back leg. Square the hips off. Hands back on the ground. We go into downward facing dog again. Ooh, that was a huge opening now. Let's have one vinyasa before we do the other side. It's always good just to neutralize. Come forward to your plank pose. Lower down onto the ground. Ooh, have another chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And back to your downward facing dog. So I just turn around again. Again, just to give you the different variations here. Okay, so your left foot is in the front now for half pigeon pose. Set your left foot forward. And no, that's the wrong side. Sorry, we are in our downward facing dog. You bring your right foot forward, opposite. So right foot forward, and that goes to the outside. I was confused. Yes, now I feel the difference. Left leg is straight, right knee is bent. We start with half pigeon pose. Come on to your elbows, or lay all the way down. We're getting ready to have our king pigeons or mermaids. Let's start with the strap again. So I do both variations just to even out the sides. Never forget, if you do one thing on one side, even if you need to pause the video, just go ahead, pause. It's very important just to balance everything out. So I have the strap here in my hand now. I correct the movement of my hip, engage my core. That gives me stability, that I'm not hurting my back, which is in a huge compression right now. And then I bring both arms up, elbows reaching up, triceps stretch. And the side might be different, yeah? So I travel along this strap and see how far I come here. Can I reach my toes? There I am, good. cannot, no problem. Do it without the belt, and let's have the mermaid shape. So no strap anymore. We're catching the foot. I realign again. I don't want to open up too much here. I have my left foot in my left elbow. Right arm goes up, and I bring those together. Slowly release. And we have both hands on the ground. Release with a last downward dog. We set them back and compensate again. Yeah, that was a huge back bend, 2 in a row actually. So this down dog always gives you this inverted posture, of course by itself, but you stretch the back out, and that's nice after a back bend. Good. Let it flow for one last time. Come forward to your plank, chaturanga or knees down, upward facing dog or your cobra, and downward facing dog. Walk the feet forward in between the hands. Forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale fold. Open up your feet a bit wider. Let's squat down for Malasana. So just open up the hips. Help with your elbows to push those knees a little bit out to the side. Then we're so close to the ground, we're finding our way back down. Bring the butt down and right ahead into just a bit of core work, having Navasana. To your degree, you straighten the legs or bend the knees. If you lose your balance like I just did, then keep the knees more bent. Or super proud, yeah, this chest goes up, this travels all the way up here, my sternum, I reach up. And then we're ready to set the feet down to the ground, give yourself a good hug here. Let's lay down on the floor, on the ground. So we have 2 more back bends, and then that's it really for today. So we have our feet on the ground, just as close that you can touch the heels. It's just a very simple Setu Bandhasana, our bridge pose. And for bridge pose, you can either interlace your hands underneath, or you grab the outside edge of your mat. That's also nice for people who can't do that one. Don't open your feet too wide, neither too narrow. So open them hip width distance. That is a good distance. And then lift up the hips. At this point, you don't look right or left anymore. Doesn't matter what the screen or anyone else around you does. So you just look up to protect your head. Grab the outside edge of the mat or interlace hands underneath, and then move those shoulders closer together. And of course, we're still breathing here. Slowly release down. Okay, so the choice of having this a second time or going ahead and going all the way up into Urdhva Dhanurasana, the wheel pose. If you do wheel pose, feet are closed, and then the hands go next to your ears. You push through your hands and you lift all the way up, bringing the hands firmly down to the ground, pressing down. And I lift my hips up, I lift my heart up. Last back bend for this practice. So try not to open up your knees too wide, keeping them quite close together here. And then slowly release back down to the ground. Hug the knees into the chest, not too much, just to compensate again. Alright. Hugging the right knee into the chest. And let's go for a gentle twist. So set the right knee over to the left side. Open up the arms. Come back to center. And change legs. Bring the left knee in. Straight the right leg. Also here we go into this twist. Help with your right hand to draw this left knee down to the ground. You can either look straight up to the ceiling or over to the other side. And back to center. And we straight the legs and setting up for Shavasana. So if you need any other last adjustments, that's your chance. And then rest the arms by the side of the body. Finding your breath. Finding peace.
you want to give yourself a longer shavasana and stay a bit longer. If you don't, then slowly come to the first actions again. Helping yourself to get up into a seated position.
To finish today, let's have the hands on our heart, connecting to our own body, to our own heartbeats. Gratitude for our practice, gratitude for our own existence.